1, go.
Tales from the bottom of the ocean.
Tales from the bottom of the ocean. I'm Austin,
Mike.
and we have a special guest here to talk about photography. Andy Jacques.
Yo.
How you doing, Andy?
Pretty good.
Feeling all right?
Feeling alive.
I feel that. It's the same. I'm a little high on espresso beans, to be honest. So this espresso beans.
Honestly, I don't know how you ate so many of those.
I only ate 3.
You only ate 3?
I was hungry.
You're hungry?
And I was lower energy, very low energy. But here's I don't know if any of y'all feeling low energy. I hope you're not, because you can expend that energy that you have going to Patreon, patreon.com/area22. Donate.
Yeah, low energy.
Consider donating maybe $1. You know, contribute to the production of these awful episodes.
Great episodes.
No, they're great.
The best episodes.
They're fantastic, and we have the best engineer to help us go through the whole thing, Steve. What's wrong, Mike?
I'll tell you later.
Anyway, all right. So photography. I'm no expert on it. Are you an expert on it, Mike?
I took a class at community college. Spent $200 on a 12-year-old camera, so I was having a much harder time than anybody else.
Fair enough.
Like, oh my god, you had to like do everything like manually.
$1,200 on a 12-year-old camera?
No, $200 on a 12-year camera.
That's worse.
It's
Oh, yeah.
awful. But let's consult the experts, Mike. Andy, can you tell us a little bit about photography as like a medium?
Well, photography is one of the, I would like to say, easier to express mediums because it's simplistic in a way. You're kind of just taking photos.
Yeah.
But it's very different from things like sculpting, painting, or like topography or things like that, because everything lies in the interpretation of the image. So you can go out, take a picture of, let's use Mike. You can take a picture of Mike, and depending on the resolution or the lighting or just how far away the picture is, it might come out completely different if you switch any of those aspects.
Yeah. Just like very versatile.
Yeah.
It's like a very, like you can completely swap up how the mood of like a picture just by manipulating a very small detail.
Something like an angle.
Yeah.
Just a couple of degrees can shift exactly anything that you try to portray.
And that's like different from, say, like painting, where you have to kind of set yourself on a mood, and then it's not really easy to shift it.
Pretty much.
Plus, if you mess up a painting, you're way more screwed than a photo. Because you take the photo again.
Yeah. But let me.
Or you kind of have to lie and say, "Oh, I meant to do that."
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is deep. This represents the fragility of man.
Can you feel the angst in this image?
Yeah,
Don't you see
exactly.
that brushstroke that's just out of place?
It's like a freaking one of his brushes snapped in half.
That's exactly what happened. You ever seen
Yeah.
that episode of SpongeBob where the sailor is at sea and he's drawing and he breaks the pencil and he doesn't have a sharpener?
Like this is representing my anger towards the world. But anyway, Andy, why don't you? I mean, I kind of introduced you already, kind of, but why don't you explain to me who you are and your style of art?
Well, I'm just a regular guy.
Alright.
I've been doing photography for a little bit of time now. Honestly, I started out as a way just to kind of like express myself. I picked up a camera I got from like an uncle, and I was like, I'm never gonna use this. But I started taking pictures. I started getting into it. I've been to a couple of shows. I've done a couple of exhibits. And honestly, I'm glad I did, because I used to do a lot of like painting and other art forms, stuff like that. And honestly, God, I would just get tired. I would
Just run out of energy.
Yeah, I just, honestly, God, I would get so into it. And then the next day I'd be like, wow. Like I do a lot of like comic work by myself. So I do a lot of like inking. And sometimes inking can take from like anywhere from 4 to 12 hours just for a page, depending on how much detail in there. I'm working on something right now, and honestly, God, I want to set my room, like my studio, I want to set it on fire, because I look at it every day. I walk by it after class. I'm just like, not today.
Yeah, no, I know how you feel. Why don't we look at one of the photos you took of me, like the first one we have here. like one of my headshots.
Great show. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah,
and
honestly,
I have
this looks
a
really
very special
goofy, but
guest
I love
tonight.
how
I
expressive
know I
this
say
is.
everybody's special,
Yeah,
but this
Mike,
gentleman
this is
sitting next to me
we
is very
went to,
special.
I forget
I was
whose
recently
birthday
on
it was.
his
We went to,
show,
like,
which
a
is
bowling alley for someone's birthday, and like someone took a video.
It was
of me.
Emily's birthday.
Yeah, and I was like basically making that face, but like wiggling my eyebrows really, really heavily.
She uses a profile picture.
Oh,
No, that's a good
A
one.
profile picture?
oh yeah.
Or like a LinkedIn picture?
Yeah, or something like that. But it was really funny because Mike, he observed, I think, in my opinion, correctly, that I kind of look like a cartoon character.
If you I don't know if people still use it or something, but like MySpace, I would like if people still do use it. I know there's this thing where you can like set that as a background and you can have like the eyebrows move independently.
like a GIF.
Yeah.
But I'll ask you this next. Well, actually, this next question after I ask you. What about this photo? Is like, how should I say, like what is the composition of this photo? I would say, like, deconstruct it for me.
Deconstruct this. Okay, so a key factor to look at this. Right now in this photo, there is 4 different kind of like styles of light that are being put out there.
Yeah.
So there's like a separate lamp that's like it's like adjacent to you. I don't know how far it is. I don't really remember, but we took this like a day ago. And I'm doing that to express like a warm color on your face because you have warm undertones. So it kind of just brings out what your face looks like.
Oh yeah.
Because before, the light that's like naturally put, it's at like a landscape feature right now. That's how the camera shot it. But it doesn't really complement your skin tone.
Yeah.
So that's why we put the lamp in there to kind of like contrast onto it. Before you kind of just look like a brick,
Yeah. Was blending it with the background basically.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Especially like the burgundy hoodie was not helping us.
Oh, fair enough. So if we had kept the like that light off my face, or if we turned it off, like how would it change the mood exactly?
Oh, it changed the mood.
I don't know
Well,
if you
it
just
would kind of
explained it,
make
but-
you look a little sickly, like you. What's that? What is it? Jaundice.
Oh,
Jones,
yeah, I do look kind of
Turn
green.
yellow.
Yeah, I
A
do
little
look kind of
bit.
green, don't I?
Mm-hmm. But you're not really a Bruce Banner type.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. So let's go to the second picture, and I'll ask you, what about photography is so appealing to you?
Cause you ever heard the whole thing? Take a picture, it'll last longer.
Oh yeah.
It will, and again, it's one of those mediums where you can take in an instant. You could capture something that may be controversial for like eternity.
Yeah.
If you think about something like somebody as crucial as like MLK, photos of MLK, they're very regal.
Yeah.
And he's honestly all he's doing in there, he's delivering like a speech.
Yeah.
But in that one image, you can see what type of man this guy was through this photo.
Or
You ever see the video with George Bush getting the shoe thrown at him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like you're dodging a shoe.
Oh.
I don't think that's that's not what I really think when I see this. When
I'm
think
giving
they're
like a
just
really bad presentation.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah. But another photo that really brings that home, I think, is here's one way we can get totally banned in China. That photo of the guy in Tiananmen Square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the tank man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. The tank man of how he was just standing there, like in front of the tank, like that captured image was just like, it was crazy in my opinion. And there's like there was this one.
Got a compilation of you making that sound.
What? Listen, talking's hard. And
YouTube poop.
and there's this one music video by one of my favorite bands, REM, where what they do is that they recreate it, but they have the guy standing there in front of a motorcade of limousines, and it was like it made me remember like how powerful that picture was, because just like it was someone standing against like a war machine so much bigger than him, you know. But besides that, I mean, it really is true what you said. Like a picture can be so powerful, and which is why it's banned in China. It's so powerful. It gives a kind of emphasis on the individual person versus everything else that I think is so incredible. Which again, it just goes to show like that wouldn't look good in my opinion painted or drawn. I think it would look so much better. I mean, you can satirize it or emphasize the themes like it through like a more artist through a more like I guess I don't know what you would call it, like a medium using paint or using like a.
There's just some things that has to be
Yeah.
caught in the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Like because you get to see like the exactly what tank is being used and the person, and like you get to feel the time and why it's important. It's
I think what the word you're looking for is like when you said paint is like a classical medium.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
photography is also kind of a classical medium. But in the 1500s, we didn't have Nikons.
exactly. But what about this picture? Like I thought it was really good.
No, so you just dropped the mic you were already holding, and you're like, "Oh man, that's money."
Yeah.
Honestly, it looks like you're like making pasta, and then you left a
You went
spoon
back.
right in the middle of the pasta, and then you put it in the oven, and you're just like, wow.
Wait, hold on, Steve, go the other one. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's
It also looks like you're using telekinesis.
like in Professor Xavier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like you just started using telekinesis, and you can only pick up a pebble
Yeah.
or like half a pencil,
Yeah.
and just trying real hard.
You know what it looks like? It looks like if you read a textbook and they always have those pictures of like just any kid, like sometimes like when it's like a frustrating topic, they're like, oh,
Oh, and then next
like,
to it'll say,
like next
it's not
to the
that hard.
questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like that.
Or like it looks like you built a puzzle, but then everything like rating wise is in like Japanese.
Yeah. It's just goes to show that whole saying, the picture's worth 1,000 words. I could be doing anything. I could be looking at my doctor's bill or...
I think the lighting is good because like it looks kind of like you're stressed, and if you're stressed, you're more reflective because a little sweat on your face.
Yeah.
You look very oily in this picture.
And that spotlight coming from I guess it would be my left when this was taken, but it was coming from the right, cast the shadows through my hand to kind of give it a little more dramatic sort of look.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Let's just act like that was intentional.
no, I mean, it works out. But in reference to this, sort of guide us through your art process, Andy. Like, what criteria does it need to exist for a shot to be sort of perfect?
Well, personally, I don't believe in such thing as like a perfect shot.
Yeah.
I think there are shots where I'm definitely more proud of, or things that I think were executed more, I guess, in a way that I would like want to have all my shots in that kind of format.
Yeah.
But I used a very low light camera, or like the aperture on this was very low light. I used like a Canon 500 on this, and it was like a 35 millimeter lens. And
So definitely not the greatest equipment ever.
oh no, it was like super cheap because you didn't really give me any time to prepare. But I used what I had.
Shot though.
No, it is. It is.
In fact, let's go to the next one. But continue.
So yeah, same cameras, same usage. I had to get really far back to get this like specific like view. Even though this room is not like super large, I had to like get deep in the corner just to get the shot that I wanted, because if I was too close, then the resolution wasn't going to be as high as I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And I think all of them came out pretty well, depending on it. But back to the criteria, I don't think there's anything that I would really say is super specific that was in there.
But are you of the mind, like the sort of postmodern opinion that, actually it's not really postmodern, that's a really poor definition, but are you of the sort of the new wave neo intellectual idea that, it really is 100% subjective, like, kind of all art has some kind of appeal, but so there's no real quality that we shouldn't necessarily be shooting for?
I think there always is quality that you should be shooting for, and I understand the idea that people want things in a specific way, or they kind of want to categorize things, like, as you said, postmodern, or I guess a new neo art style that you want to shoot specifically. Like
Focusing
I remember
on uniqueness.
Yeah, I remember before we got here, we were talking to some guy at the Wayback Burger, and I had my camera with me, and he was talking about would I consider switching to mirrorless? And a lot of people switch to mirrorless because they think it's a lot easier to use, and it is. It's very user friendly.
What is mirrorless?
A mirrorless. So the inside of this Canon, there's like a glass mirror on the inside, and that's what reflects off, so you can get the image.
Oh yeah.
That's really it's just a small little mirror. So a mirrorless camera wouldn't have one of those. It's like primarily digital, and it works spaces off like it's capturing light, but just in a different method.
Yeah.
So why did I just lose my train of thought?
It's my beautiful face, man. It's throwing us all off.
I guess you cute, man. You cute. But Yeah. Like so yeah, back to switching to mirrorless, it would basically just be a different, I guess, format. And some people, there are like adapters that you can just switch off that use mirrors in the same format.
Yeah.
But personally, I think that there isn't really much of a use for it, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't really do anything any different. Yeah, it's some of it is cheaper or it captures light in a different way, but at the end of the day, if I get the shot that I want, what's the difference with the equipment? And some people truly don't believe that, because some people believe, you know, paying $1,000 for a camera makes all of the difference, but it doesn't, because if you can't focus a camera lens, it doesn't matter how expensive it is. You're just a bad photographer.
Yeah.
But like you were saying before, some people, they go for, I guess, specific shots and things like that, and I don't believe that anything can be like just subjective. And I was like, oh, it's good depending on who's viewing it. There are some shots that are just trash. Like, I'm pretty sure I delete probably 1,000 pictures in a week because I don't think they're good, and I go take 1,000 more, and I may not think those are good. Like, even when we were taking these, there's probably like 16 variations of the same shot.
Yeah. It takes a lot of so there is an element of like timing, like there has to be like the perfect timing.
I believe, I don't remember who said it, but somebody akined photography to archery.
Oh,
It was me. I said it.
yeah, it was Steve.
It was Steve, definitely Steve.
I mean that's I think that's a good analogy. Let's see the next shot from this one.
Because you don't know how to use a microphone very well. 'Cause
Yeah, this is good. This is your Steve Carell shot.
wouldn't that make like an ungodly noise?
It would make an ungodly noise, but it was.
Skin flakes in them.
Imagine a cheese grater on a chalkboard. That's what it sounded like.
Ew.
No, it wasn't plugged in. Nobody actually heard it.
He's
It
lying.
was plugged in.
Oh,
We heard it.
oh.
Yeah, you need to exfoliate.
But again, it's just I do one of the things I do, and I've never been
Sandpaper
the
skin.
subject. What?
Sandpaper skin.
Glass builds and sandpaper skin. No, I've never been like a. I don't take photos. I'll be honest. I take photos. I save photos from sometimes from the internet, but I don't really take photos of myself that much because I never see myself as like a topic to be, I guess, captured.
What he means to say is low self-esteem.
Yeah. But when it does happen, I do like to be as expressive as possible because like I feel as if the reason why I don't personally take a lot of pictures is because like I like the feeling of somebody sort of expecting some kind of grace, I guess, from me, and then me just kind of totally subverting it. Like I mean, photos are kind of beautiful, I say, by nature because they're capturing something like in its purest form, in a way. But I kind of like flipping that on its head by just making like a funny face or just like expressing myself in some sort of different way. So that's what I was kind of doing here. I was trying to like express maybe like a confusion. I don't know. I was trying to express like a sort of.
You're like, what's up with that?
Yeah, it's a little weird. It's like a sort of like the best way to express how I sort of view the world. Like, jeez.
Were you just trying to figure out a pose?
Kind of.
Literally that. But you know,
Well, that, yeah. But
we all need a philosophical standpoint on how he took this picture.
Or else-
The microphone trying to think.
Listen,
And I said, "Please stop scratching
listen. You
your
want this to be a good show or not? You're not even in the table. Oh, Jesus.
Hey, Steve is just as much as a part of this as you are.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. All right. What was the most memorable
Love you,
picture?
Steve.
How you doing?
What was the most memorable picture you ever taken?
The most memorable picture I've ever taken.
Is it here? Is it in the library?
I don't think it's in this. It's not in the library, but
I think it doesn't matter, but you can tell us.
it's a picture of. It's during like my great aunt's funeral.
Oh, I'm sorry. You can skip it to the next picture.
You want to go to the next picture?
Yeah.
You just interrupt him when he drops that.
I'm sorry. I'm
like, I
sorry.
don't care about your.
I don't care about your great aunt funeral. You know.
No. Explain. I'm sorry.
Well, it was during my great aunt's funeral, and it's a picture of my uncle, and he's a big tough guy. He's like 6'7" or something like that. He's big. I don't really know. I'm probably exaggerating. He's a big black guy. He's like stone cold all the time. He's a cool dude, but he's like the typical macho dude. He doesn't really express himself in those type of fashions. And it's a picture of him, and I'm taking photos of literally like everyone around. And I pan down to him, and I see him, and he takes a deep breath, and like one slow tear goes down his face, and I caught it and I showed it to him, and he was just like, "Don't ever show this to anyone ever."
Aw.
But it's such a beautiful photo that I bolstered it up, and it's like I got it like printed out, and it's like, what is it? It's like 8x10, and I like plastered it on his wall in his apartment one time when I went to visit him in Virginia. And he just like he called me the next day when I left. He was just like, words I can't say on the podcast.
Wait, what? Jesus.
But yeah, and I think honestly that's one of the best photos I've ever taken. Just because it shows a whole completely different side of him. In the way how soft his features look in there, he's a towering man, but he looks just as soft as like a kitten.
The lucky shot.
Something like that.
Yeah, but I guess it's better to say like it's a once in a lifetime sort of, maybe
Pretty much.
once in a lifetime sort of thing.
I should go to another funeral, I guess.
Except hoping that someone who's exactly the same temperament is there. Jeez. But like he had just like you said, he had just like a straight face, but he just sighed and then. And was his face still straight, or was it showing like the signs of like scrunching up or anything?
It was solid.
It's impressive. I wish I could see it, but I don't think
I
so
wish I
like
could
it.
see your what? I wish I could see him cry.
No, but I wanted to see the shot
Oh,
because it sounds.
I'll show it to you.
make it your profile picture on Facebook. It comes up from Virginia and just rips your head off.
No, real talk. No, I'm pretty sure that like I'm not allowed to show that to anybody.
No, it's fine.
I'll show it to you in private.
It's fantastic. All right, so
Photos?
back to that one before. Yeah, tell us about this one.
All right, so that's a Black Hawk helicopter, and that's usually like, it's normally like a, I guess like I think it's used by it's like a military vessel.
Yeah, it's
so like
military.
flying over.
Yeah.
And one day I was sitting in, I forget what park. I think it was like Cedar Street Park. It's not that far from my house, and I just look up, and there's like a series. There's like 5 of them fly over, and I'm just like.
When was this?
Probably like in the summer or something, and I'm trying to figure out what is going on. I don't know. I honestly don't know what's going on, but I captured it. And there's another photo. I don't think it's this one, but there's one where there's just like the door is open, and there's literally just like one of like a co-pilot literally just standing and looking down. I don't know what he's viewing, but
It's a manhunt. It's looking for somebody.
definitely. There's a lot of those around me.
Jeez.
Nah, literally in the summertime, that's just when stuff starts to happen.
Weird people just get out and start doing things like this.
Freaks come out at night.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, but it's so bad you need a friggin' Black Hawk.
Well,
Yeah.
I think they're one of the faster helicopters. But anyway, well, yeah, it's a very good picture. And it definitely does capture the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say.
If only you got like 5, like all 5 at once, that'd been cool.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Now they were like tailing behind each other. I think each was like a mile behind,
Yeah, it makes
so
sense.
they're never in like
Trying to cover
consistent
ground.
I
view.
don't think they could be too close or else
Yeah.
it screws up with the propellers in the
Yeah.
air.
Uh,
That would have been a good picture. I planned.
And honestly, it was such a boring day that it didn't even make any sense. It kind of just like made the day alive. As soon as they came through, you were just standing down like eating ice cream in the park, and then
Yeah.
what is that?
I guess it just kind of shows you how small you are in a way, maybe.
I was expecting like SEAL Team 6 to drop down and like take my ice cream.
We need to come and do this. But no, it's like I said, it kind of
This
shows
is
you-
Rocky Road. I love Rocky.
Disgusting. But let's go to the next shot, and I'll ask you this: what's your muse?
What's my muse?
It's a good shot, by the way. But what's your muse?
Thank you. I used to do a lot of nature photography. Right now, I'm focusing mainly on like portraits and like street photography.
Yeah,
Because I'm just trying to switch up on what I'm doing. Like if you go to my Instagram, that's Jacques JCXUEZ Jacques.
Yeah, everybody's gonna remember that. No, I'm kidding. Okay, go on.
I'm kind of trying to switch up the medium that I'm using.
Yeah, I've seen some of them. It's like I do enjoy that sort of capturing people in like their sort of
Like natural environment.
yeah, exactly.
At the moment, I don't really necessarily have a muse. I thought to myself, I want to use my girlfriend as my muse, and like I take pictures of her all the time. And like, she has photographer friends, and they take pictures of her all the time. So I love her, but she's kind of used, you know. Let me take your photos. Like there's 1,000 photos of her everywhere. So I'm just like, maybe I should use something that I'm not as familiar with.
Yeah, just expand your.
And she's beautiful, and I love taking photos of her.
Yeah.
But I can take photos of other things.
Yeah.
You know, I'm allowed to have friends.
All right, shows let me know. Mike, do you have any questions for our guest?
Any questions?
Yeah, I'm kind of cogging on the spotlight here. I don't want you to be bored.
I'm not bored. I was gonna make comments about the picture.
Oh, well, what do you feel about the picture? What do you like about it?
I like you're able to like capture the light source without it being very obscuring. Like the fact that it is obscured makes it better because it doesn't take away from the foot. It still drives. Yeah, you still point. Your eyes still go to the sun, but it's not in an offensive way.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think that's sunrise or sunset?
Oof. Well, it's.
I'm pretty sure that's set. Because I don't think it would be making that kind of.
How sure are you?
I also can't tell if it's going from the east or the west. But also, would you be up at like 5:30 in the morning doing this?
Here's the question: do I sleep?
I guess.
Look at his eyes, dude. Look at his bags.
Oh, word.
Designer.
Designer. Yes, Louis Vuitton.
Versace.
I'm just messing with you. That's definitely sunset.
Alright, cool.
Fair enough.
And also the reflection in the water. Like, I remember when I took a class for photography, like, if you're going to take a picture of the water, the reflection was, like, really important for some reason. Because it just adds a lot more to the photo.
Actually,
Like,
this is a good question.
it'd make it a bunch of negative space if it wasn't for the reflection. And the
Yeah.
reflection makes it, gives it more.
It's hard to tell where that reflection's starting, which I like.
Yeah, it is a little hard.
Yeah. So it kind of looks like it kind of looks like there's just a parallel, like, you know, one of those illusionary parallel worlds. You
Yeah.
can't really tell where the water's reflecting the landscape, which is really good. That's a very good picture. I love how the ripples in the water are all sort of uniform. Yeah.
Just another lucky shot, really.
Yeah. Let's go to the next one, and I'll ask you. Tell us about your equipment. You got your camera there.
Well, I have, at the moment, I have 4 cameras.
Swag.
This is an EOS 500. It's like super old. It's one of the first cameras that I got, and I kind of just like carry this around. It's like my baby, you know. This lens
All
is
reliable.
literally all reliable.
Fantastic.
It's not personally, it's not one of the better cameras for like object views like this.
Yeah.
This was taken on, I think it was like an 80D. And
Attention deficit disorder. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I said ADD, and this man said ADD.
Go
That's
on.
great. Yeah. So this one, there's a difference where you're just not allowed. The zoom on it isn't as focused as I would like it to be because it's an older model. It's more like a starter camera.
Yeah.
So like for an image like this, I guess I was just trying to take a picture of the area.
Yeah.
This is actually a panoramic.
Oh, really?
So I started off with like just a picture of the light post, and I was just like, hey, zoom out, kind of just for practice.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be able to like acquire a feature like that on a camera like this. This would be more suited to maybe a portrait, like the ones I took for you.
Yeah.
This lens, though, I wouldn't recommend it because it's a more like narrow viewed lens. I would recommend like a wider lens, like 50 millimeters.
Yeah, fantastic. But I mean, it lets you capture like pictures like this one. Do we have any more of them, by the way? Or is this the last one? Oh, that's good. All right, that's good. We're actually running out of time, unfortunately. This episode's gonna be a little shorter because it's Mike's birthday, so we have to.
Mike.
We're gonna be celebrating.
Birthday punches.
No. But tell me, Andy, are you gonna be pursuing more photography? Obviously.
Definitely.
Yeah. So again, like, why don't you plug where the folks can find your work?
Most of my work is on Instagram. That's JACXUEZ, Jacques.
Yeah, at Jacques. Definitely consider checking him out and seeing if you like his work. I mean, I suppose if you live anywhere nearby, you can. You'd be willing.
Ain't nobody know where we live.
You'd be willing to
Let's not dox ourselves now.
on Long Island. How about that? Jeez, very generous.
I'm on Long Island.
If you live anywhere on Long Island, New York, then
I'm also in Brooklyn. I'd be in Brooklyn like all the time. Brooklyn, Manhattan. I go anywhere. I'm out here.
Yeah, but you'd be willing to take pictures of other people if they were
Definitely.
Yeah, very, very.
Sorry for all the yawning.
You tired?
For birthday yawns.
Birthday. Yawns.
Yeah.
We'll let you rock for now, Mike.
When's your birthday again?
It was on Sunday.
Ah,
But we're
nice.
celebrating now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so supposed to wrap this up. Photography. I mean, I guess why would you recommend it over, say, like painting?
All right, check this out. Can you zoom in on me? I've done sculpting. I've done painting. I've done topography. I've done poetry. I did a little rapping back in the day. What? This is the easiest.
What's topography?
Topography is basically like, it's basically drawing more specifically. Like if you do any graphic design, you'll do topography and like word design and stuff like that. You ever see like a logo?
Yeah.
And how the words are crafted
Like
in
advertising
specific-
and stuff? Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
And honest to God, I think for photography, you would need the least amount of skill. So if you want to get started into it, it's a lot easier to do that. You don't have to learn how to use
the
it.
biggest bank account.
Right, Steve?
I just got the $200 one that I got. That was a pain in the ass to use.
Bro, I don't know how you did that. You
I
could
couldn't-
have
I couldn't
got a
take-
better camera on like eBay.
Dude, I didn't even realize that there was a flash on it that you had to manually pull up. So I was like really taking pictures in the dark. And I was like, how am I supposed to be doing this? Like that was the assignment. Like everything's black. I can't do this. And then like 3 years after the class, one day I just flicked open the flash. I'm like,
Oh, I'm just an idiot.
yeah.
Mike the photographer.
But yeah, and I also only had one lens, and I only had to use it for portraits because it was like just a short lens. It was a small lens.
I had this one really good picture of a mama bird feeding her babies, like in a tree that's like in front of my house. It was a really good shot. Oh, I wish I kept it, but yeah.
What you do with the birds after?
Oh, they grew up.
Oh.
We didn't bother them. All right. Again, consider donating to Patreon. Thank you, Andy, for coming on. Really appreciate you. Good luck with your career as a photographer.
Thank you.
Or if you do decide to pursue it. And thank you all for coming. This is a very calm episode. I actually really enjoyed it. So, tell us about the ocean. We're going down.
I didn't change